If you're one of the 67 million Americans receiving Social Security benefits, or one of the millions more getting SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, I have some news that's going to directly impact your monthly payment. And honestly, some of it's really good news, but there are also some things you need to know that might surprise you. I'm here because I spent hours reading through the latest reports from the Social Security Administration, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and multiple economic forecasts, so you don't have to. And what I found is a mixed bag that's going to affect real families, maybe yours, in some pretty significant ways. But before we dive into the numbers, let me tell you something that happened to my neighbor Sarah just last week. Sarah is a single mom of 2. She's been on SSDI for 3 years due to chronic illness, and she was literally calculating whether she could afford her kids' school supplies this month. When I told her what I learned about these upcoming changes, she actually started crying, but they were happy tears. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, I'm going to break down exactly how much your benefits are expected to increase. And I'm talking specific dollar amounts, not just percentages. Then we'll talk about who's affected, because it's not just traditional Social Security recipients. We're talking about SSDI, SSI, veteran benefits, and programs you might not know you're eligible for. I'm also going to share some strategies that could help you maximize these increases. And I'll be honest about some potential downsides that other channels aren't talking about. My job is to give you the real information you need to make informed decisions about your finances. Let's start with who we're talking about here, because this affects way more people than you might think. First, we have traditional Social Security recipients, about 50 million retirees who've paid into the system their whole working lives. Then we have SSDI recipients, that's Social Security Disability Insurance, about 9 million Americans who can't work due to disability. There's also SSI, Supplemental Security Income, which helps about 7.4 million people with limited income and resources. VA disability benefits are also getting adjusted, affecting over 5 million veterans. And if you're a surviving spouse or dependent child receiving benefits, this affects you too. To the moms out there, whether you're a single mother on SSDI like my neighbor Sarah, or you're caring for a disabled child and receiving SSI, these changes could mean the difference between choosing between groceries and utilities or actually having breathing room. To our veterans, the VA benefit adjustments we're seeing could significantly impact your monthly budget, especially if you're also receiving Social Security. To those caring for elderly parents or disabled family members, these adjustments might affect the benefits they receive, which impacts your family's overall financial situation. All right, let's get into the actual numbers and changes you can expect. The Social Security Administration has announced that benefits will increase by 2.5% for 2025. Let me break down what that means in real dollars. If you're receiving the average Social Security retirement benefit of about $1,975 per month, a 2.5% increase means an additional $48 per month. That's $576 more per year. For someone getting the maximum benefit of around $4, $873 per month, we're talking about an extra $122 monthly, or $1,464 annually. For SSDI recipients, the average monthly benefit is about $1,537. So, a 2.5% increase translates to roughly $38 more per month, or $456 per year. SSI is different because it has set federal amounts. The individual federal SSI payment is increasing from $943 to $967 per month. That's a $24 increase for couples. It's going from $1,415 to $1,450, which is a $35 monthly increase. Here's what's important. These increases are based on the Consumer Price Index, but the CPI doesn't always reflect the real costs that people on fixed incomes face. Things like healthcare, prescription drugs,
and housing often increase faster than general inflation. For VA disability benefits, veterans with a 100% disability rating will see their monthly compensation increase from $3,737 to $3,831. That's a $94 monthly increase. Even veterans with a 30% rating will see an increase from $524 to $537 monthly. Let's focus on the positive aspects of these changes because there really are some bright spots. First, these increases are automatic. You don't have to apply.
You don't have to fill out paperwork. If you're already receiving benefits, this increase will show up in your payment. Second, these increases help maintain your purchasing power. Without these annual adjustments, people on fixed incomes would see their standard of living erode year after year. Third, if you're receiving multiple types of benefits, you could see increases across all of them. If you're a veteran who also receives Social Security, you could see both your VA disability compensation and your Social Security benefits increase. Medicare Part B premiums are not increasing dramatically. The standard Part B premium for 2025 is $185 per month, up from $174.70 in 2024. While that's an increase, it's relatively modest, which means more of your Social Security increase stays in your pocket. For families with children receiving SSI, this increase could make a real difference. An extra $20 or $30 a month might not seem like much to others, but it could mean their child gets the therapy they need, or they can afford special foods required for medical conditions. Now, I promise to give you the complete picture. So, let's talk about some challenges these increases bring. First, there's what I call the benefits cliff problem. Some people receiving SSI or other need-based benefits might find that their increase pushes them just over the income limits for other assistance programs. It's frustrating when a small increase in one benefit causes you to lose eligibility for something else that might be worth more. Second, while benefits are increasing by 2.5%, some expenses are rising faster than that. Housing costs in many areas are still increasing at rates well above 2.5%. Healthcare costs, especially for prescription drugs, often outpace general inflation. Third, there's a tax consideration that affects some Social Security recipients. If your combined income exceeds certain thresholds, you might owe federal taxes on your benefits. For individuals, if your combined income is between $25,000 and $34,000, you may have to pay taxes on up to 50% of your benefits. Above $34,000, up to 85% could be taxable. For married couples filing jointly, these thresholds are $32,000 and $44,000. The challenge is that these thresholds haven't been adjusted for inflation, so more people pay taxes on their Social Security benefits each year. So, what can you actually do with this information? Let me give you concrete steps. First, calculate your new benefit amount and plan your budget accordingly. Don't wait until the money shows up. Start planning now. If you're getting an extra $40 per month, decide right now whether that money goes toward paying down debt, building an emergency fund, or covering a specific expense. Second, if you're close to any income thresholds for other programs, talk to a benefits counselor. Many states have free services that can help you understand how this increase might affect your other benefits. Third, now is a great time to review all your benefits and make sure you're not missing out on anything. Many people are eligible for programs they don't even know about, things like SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, utility help. These programs can significantly extend the impact of your benefit increases. Fourth, consider this increase as an opportunity to start or increase an emergency fund. Even if it's just $10 or $20 per month, having some savings can make a huge difference when unexpected expenses come up. I want to be completely honest with you about something. A 2.5% increase, while helpful, isn't going to solve the financial challenges that many people on fixed incomes face. If you're struggling to make ends meet, now this increase alone probably won't change that. But here's what it can do. It can provide a little more breathing room. It can mean the difference between having to choose between medications and groceries, or being able to afford both. It can mean being able to help a grandchild with school supplies, or having a little extra for an occasional treat. Sometimes that little bit of breathing room is exactly what you need to make bigger changes. Maybe it gives you the confidence to apply for other assistance programs. Maybe it provides the small cushion you need to look into job training or education programs if you're able to work. The key is not to see this increase in isolation, but as one part of a larger financial picture that you have some control over. When I'm reading through all these reports and crunching numbers, it's easy to forget that behind every statistic is a real person with real challenges and real dreams. There's Maria, a 62-year-old who's been on SSDI since a car accident left her unable to work. She told me that her benefit increase means she can afford to buy fresh vegetables again instead of just canned ones. There's Robert, a 72-year-old veteran who uses his VA benefits to help support his granddaughter while his daughter gets back on her feet. His increase might not seem like much, but it means he can help pay for his granddaughter's after-school program. There's Janet, who cares for her adult son with intellectual disabilities. The SSI increase means she can afford to take him to a movie once a month, something that brings them both joy, but had to be cut from their budget. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. These are real improvements in real lives. And that's what makes this work so important to me. Look, I know that a 2.5% increase might not feel like enough, especially if you're already struggling. And I'm not going to pretend that this solves all the challenges that people on fixed incomes face. But what I will say is this: every little bit helps. And this increase, combined with smart planning and knowledge about other available resources, can make a meaningful difference in your life. The most important thing you can do is stay informed. The landscape of benefits and assistance programs is constantly changing, and what's available to you today might be different 6 months from now. That's why I'm here reading these reports and breaking them down so you don't have to. If this video helped you understand your situation better, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I post new videos every week about benefits, assistance programs, and strategies for making the most of limited incomes. Share this information. If you have friends, family members, or neighbors who receive Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, send them this video. Knowledge is powerful, but it's only powerful when people have access to it. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are millions of Americans navigating these same systems, facing these same challenges, and working toward the same goals: financial stability and dignity. We're stronger when we support each other and share information. Your financial situation doesn't define your worth, and needing assistance doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. There's absolutely no shame in using every resource available to you to build the best life possible for yourself and your family. So, take this information, use it, share it, and most importantly, don't give up. Small improvements consistently applied over time can lead to significant changes in your quality of life. I'll see you in the next video.